Okay, guys. I'm Chris. This is Adam. This is Sean. We are Nevermore Film Society with Nevermore Film Reviews. And here is our review of Iron Man 3. It's the sequel to Iron Man 1 and 2, and it's also really a sequel of The Avengers also. It takes place right after, and it has a lot of things to do with and directly pertaining to that storyline. It stars Robert Downey Jr., Gwyneth Paltrow, Guy Pearce, Ben Kingsley, everyone you know. Don Cheadle, too. So, Adam.
You would put me first.
What'd you think?
Well, I actually liked it. Let's see here. Action sequences were fun. I liked the storyline. There was some problems with some of the characters, which these two we'll discuss later. But I was able to really enjoy it. I liked the humor that was involved. Some situations happened I found incredibly disheartening. But overall, I didn't mind it. I thought it was an enjoyable movie. So.
Okay. I did not like it at all. I'm a big fan of Iron Man 1 and 2. I'm a really big fan of The Avengers. This movie did not do it for me at all. There were a lot of things that were in it that should not have happened. Things that happen about halfway through. I'm not going to spoil anything, but there are things that happen in the story that whether or not you like this movie will be directly coinciding with whether or not you buy what happens. And I did not at all. Things happen that shouldn't happen. Things happen that don't make sense with any continuity of any original Iron Man story that's ever come before it. And it just didn't work for me. I really don't. I'm very disappointed in it. I really don't know what else to say about it. I just was not a fan. And I'm sad that I wasn't. I was really hoping to like it. I wanted to like it. And the fact that I didn't really disappoints me. And it kind of makes me worried about the rest of Phase 2. So, yeah. Sean?
Coming from this as a purely comic book background, I have that background out of the three of us. Yeah. I have the most comic book background.
I didn't have any.
Yeah. I have a little bit. So,
but with that in mind, I went at it with the eye of I really wanted to see Iron Man. Like, coming out of the Avengers, you're supposed to see, like, this new, like, the Phase 2 of Marvel is supposed to be super epic. And it didn't do it for me. Iron Man 3 was it was a big letdown for me.
That's what I was saying. It's probably one of the biggest cinematic letdowns I personally have ever had.
And I think it's only like its scale of how much of a letdown was only because it was built up from Avengers. Like, from Avengers leading to this was this Iron Man 3 is going to be epic no matter what. Like, scenes are going to be epic, storyline's going to be epic, the villain's going to be epic. That's what they sold us. And I find it a little bit suspicious that I heard no negative critics.
Until after it came out.
After
it came out, everyone, like, a lot of people are slamming it now that it came out.
Yeah, now that it's out and the public has seen it, I'm getting the truth about it.
And, like,
I heard nothing bad.
Like, I was kind of, I don't know about, you liked it, but I don't know about you. I was actually kind of offended and insulted by the fact that the trailers were so misleading.
Trailers
are gonna be misleading, like,
yeah.
They always are. But the trailers were a completely different tone.
As a comic book nerd, it hurts. It does. It honestly hurts. As a moviegoer, like, I can see why I would go see, like, why it would be fun.
I mean, don't get me wrong. If you are a fan of Marvel movies, if you're a fan of every other Marvel movie up to this point, and if you want to see what Phase 2 is going to bring, you have to see it.
Yeah.
Like, you have to watch it. It's part of the story. It's kind of it's a must. But, I mean, if you like the tone, if you like the feel of the first two Iron Mans, even if you like the feel of the Avengers, which was a completely different tone than the first two Iron Mans, but still awesome, you're not going to like necessarily the tone of this one just based on...
Not that you're not going to like it, because Adam did like it. It's not that you're not going to like it. It's that you'll know something's different, but it's going to split the audience. Audiences are either going to be like, yeah, cool, or they're going to be like, hold on a second.
Yeah, whether or not you like it is going to be contingent on whether or not you buy the difference in tone. You bought the difference in tone.
It was a lot darker. I enjoyed the
We
darkness to
didn't,
him.
but it wasn't. I didn't feel the darkness because the
I didn't-
darkness
I
was
didn't feel any darker.
The darkness was completely overweighed by the fact that Shane Black, who is an action comedy writer, tried to make it a comedy, and it ended up being more romantic comedy than action comedy in my mind. I felt like it was parodying itself about halfway through. I felt like it was turning into a complete parody of itself, and it wasn't taking itself seriously.
I mean, if you haven't seen it yet, or you haven't heard anything, which I'm pretty sure everyone has, there is a huge plot twist.
And
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 once that plot twist hits, then it splits. Like, it splits the crowd.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
you can't lie about that. Like, it splits the crowd, period.
Before that
you're either going to
twist-
hear, like, oh, or you're going to hear, what?
before that twist, it is a standard Iron Man movie.
Yeah.
Before that twist, it's just a regular Iron Man movie. You're like, okay, I get this. It's Iron Man. We're going to have fun, whatever. That twist happens. You're either going to be, okay, cool, whatever. It happened. Let's move on. Or, like, I'm done. And
I was done.
I was obviously going to sit there and watch the rest of it. But mentally, I was just like, okay, I don't buy this anymore. Like, I just don't buy it.
All right, are we
Okay.
ready for spoilers?
All right, we're ready
All
for
right,
spoilers.
We're rolling for spoilers?
All right.
So there's this scene.
Hold on. I feel Adam should start it off. Adam, was there anything honestly in the film that you were just like, no, that's not working at all. Fuck that.
The characters I glue red, like the
Oh, so
The
like
extremists.
all of the henchmen?
it bugged me at first.
Yeah.
I actually grew to like it a little bit, but when I first saw that, I'm like, are we in a sci-fi Star Trek movie?
Because the whole point of Iron Man is supposed to be grounded in some sort of
Yeah.
reality.
Mind you, after Avengers, all right, there was alien stuff in the
That
Avengers.
was their
so-
idea. That was their idea for that. It was just like after something like the Avengers with gods and aliens and all that, the extremist plot could work.
I feel all right.
Yeah.
You gotta dissect this a little bit. There was three main things that kind of just threw it all off of me.
Okay.
One, super huge twist. Involving
say the twist
Mandarin.
now.
We can, but I'm gonna leave it for a second. Two, the main villain, who ended up being the main villain, Killian, in the comic books, he is just a scientist who shoots himself. I don't get why he was such a big character. Why they play him up so much.
That's not even what bothered me.
And then
That's-
Miss Potts becoming super awesome human strength.
People.
But yeah, Miss Potts getting superpowers. There
That
is something
bothered
in it.
me.
Miss Potts becomes Rescue is who she becomes. She gets an Iron Man suit of her own, and she gets like this electromagnetic field thing, but she does not get.
She doesn't turn into an
Extremist
extremist.
powers.
The only thing I saw that coming because it was either when she fell.
Yeah,
What bothered me is not the
That
fact
he
that she,
finishes talking when I'm.
I was gonna say let him finish.
Is that when she fell, I sat there and went, she can't be dead. Even though I had a feeling she might have died.
Yeah,
I thought she was dead.
I would have loved it if she died.
I hope she died.
That
died.
would have been a pushing point for Tony.
Yeah. That's the thing. It would have been a great character arc on Tony's end if she would have died.
It also would have made the ending credit scene. If you guys haven't seen yet, the ending credit scene, he is sitting in a couch.
It's so stupid.
Can you stop?
It's so
He
stupid.
is sitting.
You don't listen, do you?
He is sitting in a couch. He sits up. He looks. You see Bruce Banner across the way. Mark Ruffalo looking old as shit, and
Yeah.
he's just like, so yeah, that's pretty much what happened. And Mark Ruffalo's asleep. Had she have died, it could have made that end scene so much more bigger. It could have been, we're killing the Mandarin, Bruce. Me and you, we're going ham on the Mandarin.
Like
We're
Hulk
getting
out
him.
now. Well,
And that could have been so much better. Now, main thing.
there's this. Let me build it up.
You don't need to build it up. You don't need to build it up. The Mandarin isn't a villain.
The Mandarin ain't the Mandarin, guys.
Mandarin's not the Mandarin.
The Mandarin is a British actor at the end of his rope, played by Ben Kingsley. That
An
they,
alcoholic.
yeah, an alcoholic.
Alcoholic
drug
drug
user.
that they hire to play a terrorist, and Aldrich Killian, played by Guy Pearce, is the actual Mandarin.
Now, Ben Kingsley's character says, "Oh, I didn't know it. It was actually going to hurt someone." When you see him on screen shoot someone in the head,
See?
You see?
See?
I know. I told you that was the one part that bugged me.
Even that.
But
For those who don't know who the Mandarin is a Chinese American descended person. He was raised in China. His parents were killed, and he was raised pretty much by himself. He raised himself, and then his aunt came in and raised him. She spent most of his money teaching him martial arts and science. That is his background. The Mandarin is a pinnacle villain in the Marvel universe. He is
Iron Man's villain.
not just Iron Man's villain. He is a villain that can push buttons in ways that most people can't. Him and Doctor Doom are huge villains.
Well, Doctor Doom
Is a
owns
huge
his own
villain in the Marvel
country.
world. He's a huge villain though. And to play those people up and then give them nothing, absolutely nothing, it hurts. He's supposed to have 10 rings, which they showed.
They showed the 10 rings, but the 10 rings didn't do
Which-
anything.
Again, I don't have a comic background, so I went into seeing that going, all right, this is a cool twist, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I didn't even mind at that point that was a twist, that Ben Kingsley's character was an actor. What I didn't like is that Ben Kingsley's character was an actor. There should have been like a third guy in the background that was the actual Mandarin that looked like the Mandarin, that like the creators of the movie kept completely secret. I feel like that would have been so much cooler if like there was just another
Not
actor.
saying they can't do it though. Like they can easily if they
can fix it
They
if
can
they
fix
want
it.
to.
But
Like-
will they?
We'll
That's
see.
remains
We'll
to be
see.
seen. Like there could be, I would love it if they make another Iron Man movie and like another guy comes up and is just like, okay, I'm gonna be the Mandarin.
Yeah.
And like he actually is the Mandarin.
But
that
even
we
from
know.
a creative standpoint, if you were to have you have two characters to choose from, Adam.
Okay.
All right? You have a scientist who creates something to regenerate people to pretty much make super soldiers, okay?
Yeah.
That's one villain you can choose from. Or you have another villain who
he's a terrorist.
not only just a terrorist, he's a magical he's a magical person with martial arts skills who can
Crush Tony.
bend the Marvel universe in a way that opens up to any ending you pretty much want. To make your franchise continue on strong, what character would you choose?
Probably that second one.
And
He could have opened up Guardians of the Galaxy. That could have opened up to Guardians of the Galaxy because they're making that to lead.
and
into
it leads
Phase
in. Like you need the 10 rings leads in, and
To the Gauntlet
it
of Power.
transfers over to the Infinity Gauntlet.
Infinity
That's pretty much the storyline. It's you get Mandarin, then you meet
I am
Doctor
obviously
Strange.
not a comic geek.
Yeah, you meet Mandarin, you get Doctor Strange, you get the Infinity Crisis. It just happens.
Yeah, my biggest complaint was not the fact that the Mandarin was an actor, but the fact that the actor that they chose to play the Mandarin ended up being the biggest bitch in the entire world. Like he is a little scaredy cat, little asshole. I
It's-
feel like he was just like, oh no, I'm afraid now. Like as soon like Rhodes hits him in the ear with his gun, and he like starts crying in the movie. Like once they find out that he's not the actual Mandarin, and I'm just like, really, dude? Like you're gonna do
my
this?
big issue was you had something that could have been so great, and you just let it go. You
That
let it go
and-
to let a smaller character lessen your movie, which I can understand why they tried to, because they didn't want it to be an Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So I can see why they tried to lessen the villain, like lesser the awesomeness of the
Bigness.
villain. But I wouldn't throw it to Killian.
Killian and the Mandarin in the comic books were never the same person.
Never.
Like never.
No.
Like they were never the same person. They should have never made them the same people.
It was a really big letdown to see Marvel waste something that could have been so awesome. Yeah.
Overall, those are all the
Oh,
spoilers, really. I mean,
those are all the
nothing-
spoilers.
I mean, I guess the other spoiler we could say is that at the end of the movie, I mean, Tony gets the shrapnel out of his heart and doesn't have to use the arc thingy anymore.
Yeah,
Which kind of upset me.
that's fine.
I mean, that makes him stronger though. later.
That I know, but it's as going into knowing Iron Man through the movies, like but no glowy thing in the chest.
In the
And
comics,
that's what
though, he gets
by
rid
the
of
way,
it
that's what I
eventually.
referred
gets
to it
rid of it.
as was the glowy thing in the chest.
It's the arc reactor, isn't it?
Shut up! I know
Yeah.
technical terms. I don't do technical terms.
I feel like this is definitely. In my opinion, it's the worst of the trilogy, and definitely the worst out of the four.
It is definitely worse than the trilogy, and it's not what you'd expect coming
out of the Avengers.
out of the Avengers. Like, it would be different if the Avengers. I would have liked to see the Avengers come after Iron Man 3. although the storyline would have been changed up, it wouldn't have been that bad.
It wouldn't have been as
You
disappointing.
couldn't, yeah, you wouldn't have had Iron Man meeting, Bruce Banner or any of the other superheroes yet, but you would also have more background to a story on a villain that you can play up more, that you honestly have to play up more to lead into your next big villain for your next big film, Avengers 2, Kronos. Or not
I don't
Kronos.
know. I
yeah.
mean, I'm still excited for the rest of the Marvel movies that are coming.
I'm excited.
I'm gonna be excited. I'm excited for
just
Guardians.
A
I'm
little
excited for
hurt.
Thor, Captain America, even Ant-Man. Ant-Man's gonna be a comedy though.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be.
I don't know much about him, so.
I mean, you can't
the,
really
the
make
only one I'm looking forward to is Thor. I don't know about the other ones.
you
so.
can't really make a serious movie about a guy whose only power is he gets bigger and shrinks.
Thank you. They already did it. It's called Honey, I Shrunk the Kid.
So the next movie we are doing will be Star Trek Into Darkness, followed by, what was it?
Hangover 3.
Hangover.
Hangover-
No, Fast Six.
Fast
Then
Six.
Hangover
Six,
3.
then Hangover 3.
Hangover 3, and then Man of Steel.
This is the end.
What?
This is the end.
They're doing This Is the End.
I was
We're
going to say,
doing-
we'll probably
we'll do This Is the
We'll
End.
probably do Hangover 3, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
That'll
okay,
fine.
we're gonna do restart it.
No, just let it...
Just let it go. You
Dude,
can keep recording.
it's the audio we gotta fix.
Yeah. The audio's been recording this entire time.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever. The
Star Trek.
Star Trek, then Fast Six. We're gonna do Star Trek and Fast Six, all three of us.
Yes.
Yes.
And then me and Sean are gonna be doing Hangover Part 3,
Yes.
and This Is the End.
Yes.
And that's
And
all we have
no,
for now.
And it'll return to all three of us for Man of Steel.
Yes.
Yes.
So stay tuned for that. We are
Um,
Nevermore Film.
Oh,
Blah,
yeah.
blah, blah, blah.
We have a podcast. We're trying.
We're trying to get it that.
We're
off
trying
the
to finish up
ground.
the podcast. We're trying to finish up our web series.
Yes.
Um,
I'm trying to
Well,
start,
start
finish
it. Yeah,
writing
start it. Yeah, finish writing it. Start that up. We have a couple things, so just stay tuned. Subscribe. Get awesome into it. We're getting
Like,
into it.
subscribe.
Yeah, definitely. Until then, this is Nevermore Film Society.
With Nevermore Film Reviews.
I don't know what to say. for
Stay
that.
tuned.
I was going to say see you at the movies, but that was.
I'm Sean Gresham.
Stay tuned, guys. Have a good night.
See you later.
See you guys.